Dunn sat down with him in Seattle.
You know, I can remember back in the day, and I don't know if it was the same in pro stock, where we pitted on the opposite side of the track that we used to it. And back in those days, you weren't allowed to you didn't have scheduled qualifying runs. Remember, Snake, you just went up and you could run as many times as you get up in the staging lanes. And I can remember as a crew member for Roland Leong, our old boss, he made me sleep in the truck because the gates didn't open until 7 o'clock, and he wanted me in the staging lanes to be up front. Well, me and one of Tom Hoover's guys actually slept in the trucks, and we said, okay, we're going to wake up about 5 o'clock and we're going to go in there. Well, Dale Poldy at the time was driving, and he paid the guy at the back gate, like gave him a case of Miller or something to let him in, and they knew we were sleeping in there, so they took and got the push truck, got it rolling, and they just kind of coasted and pushed it in there so they wouldn't wake everybody up. So next thing you know, we get up and we run the thing into the staging lanes, and right at the back of the staging lanes was like the road course. Well, the NHRA guy says, stop, you can't go any further. And your old crew chief, Austin Coyle, he's right beside me, and we're lined up, and there's about 20 cars waiting to go up there and get in line to try to get your position. And all of a sudden the guy says, 7 o'clock, he says, okay, you guys can go. And it looked like the start of Le Mans. We're all running to the trucks, and we're going. And I got the one guy from Hoover's, he's driving the race car, and I'm driving the push truck. And there's Coyle on the other side. Man, he's like going, and he ain't going to let me get in there. So we get up to the front of the line, and he gets out and he says, I may not be able to kick your ass, but I guarantee you I can hire somebody to do it. If you ever try that again, I'm going to whoop you. Oh, yeah. And I said, Coyle, I said, that wasn't me. I said, this guy's got to go back and get Hoover's car because he's got to get back in. It was a tow boat, not trying to beat him up there, you know. And Coyle says, oh, okay. We went back and it ended up, we were 9th in line and Hoover was 20th in line. And that was how crazy it was back in those days.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and like Mike's saying here, you know, we used to get in the staging lanes, and you never know. Oh, go ahead. You know, you guys can run now. You know, you suit up and go out, so you can make as many qualifying attempts as you wanted to. So you're always fighting, as you pointed out, to get into the front of the line. And I remember one time with John, our car, we kind of like pushed it up there past him, and believe me, he was a scrapper back in his day. You remember coming up to me and go, hey, what are you doing? You're going to punch me out.
Can I swear I'll tell you the real story?
The real story.
I said, get out of here.
The real story there, I was there with Wendy's, and we picked up our uniforms from the local Wendy's store on the way into Indy. I was broke in California, and they said the Snake went east to Indy. I said, you're me, and I packed up. My dad said, why do you waste your time, son? You're going to go bankrupt. You'll never be Don Perdome, and you're going to Indy. And, well, I mean, I sold my Harley, everything I owned, closed my apartment, and took off for Indy, right? So here I am. I slept all night in the truck. We were filthy dirty. And the next morning, that's when John Lombardo's team they were all fighting to get to the start line. He ran into the back of Al Segrini. I mean, it was a cluster, you know what, right? And I made it because Steve Gibbs says only 10 cars are going to run that section. Well, I was number 7. I was okay. And here we are sitting, and Snake gives orders to Bobby Brandt. Go around all of them. They climbed the fence. So I thought, cool, out of respect, I'm a funny car racer. I walked up to Snake and I said, Mr. Perdome, you know you've always been my hero. And I wasn't one of the guys that snuck in. I slept all night, and you went around me, and he said, excuse me, who is this guy? I was hot. I was ready to fight. And we were all standing out there. We were starved to death. We knew we weren't going to qualify anyway. And but we tried, and we didn't qualify again. But them were the good old days. It was fun.
Now, Pro Stock, did we ever have any rivalries like that? I'm sure we did.
It was the same thing in Pro Stock. You had to be there first thing in the morning. I remember sleeping in the truck, rolling the car out the back of the truck in the dark, and then sneaking up as close to staging lanes as you could get, and trying to get in there. And I remember I went around Gordy Rivera once, and I thought we had the Mexican war going again. I mean, he was just hot. But I figured heck, guy sleeping, he ain't gonna notice.
And Warren, you know, remember the pit areas there at the U.S. Nationals? It was just dirt.
Dirt and grass.
All dirt. So there's this one patch of asphalt away over on the far side that you once again sleep all night in your truck to hustle in there, be the first one in the gate to unload your car and be able to work on the asphalt. Well, guys got hip to that, and they were all lined up. So whoever won the Nationals that year would automatically get that spot the following year. So that was a big perk to be able to be pitted on asphalt.
It ended up being the Don Perdome pit spot, basically.
Yeah, for a while.
He kept winning all the time.
And you know what was really pathetic? When Indy was over, we're still starving, still eating at Wendy's. Thank God the Castro come into this program, and Ford, I'd still be out there starving. But in the midst of this, the last word I had, we were sitting in a hotel trying to figure out how to sneak out because we couldn't get our clothes out of the room. That's how bad it was. 6 guys in a room, mattresses against the wall, hot bologna sandwiches under the seat of the truck. Almost said Chevy truck, I meant Ford. And then the word came down the hall. Snake had left the building, right? And I said, where's he going? And they said, he's heading for Medford. Well, back in those days, we run divisionals to get points, and I was hanging on to stay in the top 10. I said, I can lift that son. We're going to Medford. And packed up our stuff, ran out of gas half the way there. Dad had to send money to Union 76 to bail us out just so I could chase him. Been chasing him my whole life. And when I finally got good enough, I thought I had a shot at beating him. The son of a gun went to top fuel.